industry professionals are anticipating a big change coming to the Breakfast Club. I think this big change is for the worse. And I think if this does happen, it effectively ends the Breakfast Club. I don't think the Breakfast Club can survive this. This anticipation and rumor that everybody is talking about actually involves Charlamagne the God, obviously, because if it was a rumor about anybody else on the Breakfast Club, I don't think anybody would care. I think Charlamagne the God is the last star on the Breakfast Club currently. DJ Envy is a star, but he don't talk, right? We don't tune into the Breakfast Club to hear what DJ Envy has to say about something. We tune in to hear what Charlamagne has to say. Here's what's going on, okay? So about 5 years ago, Charlamagne the God signed a very lucrative deal with iHeartMedia, which is the parent company of Power 105, which obviously hosts the Breakfast Club. Now, this 5-year deal was signed December 8th of 2020. I was told Charlamagne the God signed for like $1.5 million a year, but that's not even the best part of that particular contract. The best part about it was the contract allowed flexibility for Charlamagne the God to do a late night show if he wanted to, or if he got the opportunity to. Charlamagne the God has been very vocal and very open. If you watch Brilliant Idiots, you know Charlamagne the God has been talking about having his own late night show at some point about 5 to 10 years ago. Like, that's his main goal. He wants to have a late night show. We got a little glimpse of Charlamagne the God being a late night show host when he hosted The Daily Show. And I'll be real, when he guest hosted, he wasn't bad. Like, I don't think Charlamagne the God was inept or horrible. Now, he's no Trevor Noah, but he's not bad at all. He actually did a pretty good job. It's odd that he don't have his late night show yet because he requested that in his contract. He wanted the flexibility to be able to do a late night show if the opportunity presents itself. Well, he put that in his contract for a reason. Well, it's 5 years later and he don't have a late night show. And also, if you're good at math, 5 years later, well, the contract is about up. The contract is coming to an end. And we have no updates yet in regards to whether or not Charlamagne the God is renewing or re-upping or if he's staying with the Breakfast Club. Now, Charlamagne the God was asked about it, and he didn't have much to say, to be honest. He kind of ducked and dodged the question.
Be behind a mic. So as you mentioned, Charlamagne, it was 2020 when you started it, and I believe it was a 5-year deal. So your renewal is coming up with iHeart. Do you plan to renew?
You know what's so interesting about 2020? That it was COVID, right? And so being that it was COVID, like everybody that I reached out to said yes to the Black Effect Podcast Network. And that's why we were able to launch with 20 plus, 20 plus different podcasts. But that's crazy you knew that.
I was gonna say, how do you know this?
Because when the press release says it was a 5-year deal, and the press release came out December 2020, and we're almost there.
Guys, Carrie can read.
Carrie can read.
That's amazing.
You learned anything today? So I don't think you answered my question.
Yeah. We call that the weave, you know? I learned.
The bob and weave.
Yeah, saw Donald Trump say that on Flagrant, the weave. You know?
So we don't...
She's ready for you.
Can you answer the question?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is, your deal with iHeart expires at the end of this year. Are you going to renew with iHeart?
Why not?
I don't like to talk business. It's not the place to talk business.
Yeah, I mean, we're having a lot of fun.
Media conference.
We have a lot of time to decide that. So we'll let you know December 31st at 11:59 p.m.
See,
Good answer.
What you guys are kind of alluding, though, is that you're talking around. Like, your options are...
No, I'm not alluding to nothing.
Okay.
I said I'm weaving.
Now you're doing the Dougie.
There are options outside of iHeart. It seems to be what we're hearing.
That interview was September. I didn't read too much into what Charlamagne the God said, because if you're in negotiation, what are you supposed to say? I really want to stay at the Breakfast Club. I hope. No, you're in negotiation. All right, you're supposed to play hardball. Make them think that you on your way out. You want to leave. But that was September. There was urgency in September, but it wasn't too urgent. It's still a couple of months away from the contract being up for renewal, but it's December. It's up for renewal now, and we still have no word yet of a contract. Here's my thoughts. I think Charlamagne the God is making his escape. I think Charlamagne the God understands that his goal is to have a late night show. I think that late night show is currently in the works. You can't do late night and the Breakfast Club. You have to spend 8 to 9 to 10 hours a day preparing for your late night show. And even though it airs in the night, you still have to prepare for it throughout the day. You're not waking up at 5 a.m. doing a Breakfast Club and then go ahead and prepare for a late night show. It's not happening, bro. That man wants to have a life. He's in his 40s. I think right now the late night show is currently being negotiated, and the Breakfast Club is on the back burner. Now, Tasha K took to her Twitter, and Tasha K would actually say that like theories like mine is actually wrong, because my theory is in Charlamagne the God's court. Like Charlamagne the God is the one who's holding it up. Tasha K will say that iHeartMedia is the one who don't want to renew Charlamagne. According to Tasha K, she wrote, allegedly Charlamagne the God's contract is not up for renewal. His contract ends January 21st. A close source tell me they are not bringing him back, reportedly due to his shift in a political space. What does this mean for the future of the Breakfast Club? Everything is allegedly, even my name is allegedly. Charlamagne the God wanting to leave to do a late night show is one thing. The Breakfast Club having the audacity to say they don't want Charlamagne the God back. What are your other options? You can't find anybody to replace Charlamagne. That's not happening, right? The only person you could possibly find to replace Charlamagne is academics or Joe Budden, and they're not going to take the job. They're not going to do it at all. So you're going to have a show of who? DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, and Lauren LaRosa? Like that's your show? That's why, in my heart, I don't believe the source. I'm sure a source told Tasha K that. I'm not disputing that, right? Because Tasha K won't make that up. I'm saying I'm questioning the source. Because why would the Breakfast Club not want Charlamagne the God back? He's the draw. He's the show. He's everything about it. Now, if Charlamagne the God is walking into meetings, putting his ding-a-ling on the table and saying, give me $10 million or else I'm walking, I can understand why they might say you're out of your mind. You're not Stephen A. Smith. We're not giving you $10 million. It's a radio gig. Cut it out. But outside of that, I see it as a 0% chance that the Breakfast Club is the one who's shitting on Charlamagne the God. Now, when the Breakfast Club hired Lauren LaRosa, a lot of us thought that was them trying to replace Jess Hilarious. But I always thought it was weird. Why would they want 4 hosts on the show? Why wouldn't they just go with the 3? Maybe the Breakfast Club was anticipating this and they knew that Charlamagne the God at some point was going to depart. And Lauren LaRosa was essentially, them hiring the contingent plan, the backup plan. But why would Lauren LaRosa be the backup plan for Charlamagne the God? That just doesn't make sense whatsoever. But a lot of us thought they were trying to replace Jess. Maybe can we entertain the idea that maybe they were trying to replace Charlamagne the God because they did hire a 4th host? Now, the Breakfast Club spoke about the Hot 97 firings and the radio jobs going to doomsland as of lately. Charlamagne the God had a very measured take on this. And I don't know, maybe I was reading too much into it, but when Charlamagne the God was talking about this, I was just reading in between the lines, and I kind of applied everything he said to what he's currently going through at the Breakfast Club.
Charlotte, what lick we about to hit? I don't know, man. Things tight out here in these streets, man. You see what's happening, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know if any licks about to be hit, man. I think everybody should just be happy to be making a living. That's what my mom always told me. My mom always said, just be happy to be making a living. I'm just happy to be making a living, okay? Somebody said, Charlotte, you going to sub to Envy's foot OnlyFans? Envy might have to. We don't know what this going to look like after this week.
I told him, I said, yo.
Charlotte says, we don't know what's going to happen after this week at the Breakfast Club. And then Taylor, who's also a producer for the Breakfast Club, but she also produces for Brilliant Idiots, Charlamagne God's podcast, she says, why y'all keep saying this? So apparently this has been a discussion off air. They keep saying, hey, man, we don't know the future of the Breakfast Club. We don't know what's going to happen. Now, this could just be tongue-in-cheek of them playing on the recent firing of Ebro and Rosenberg, or this could be towards a larger discussion. I'm going to read into this, especially with Charlamagne the God's contract negotiations currently going on. This is definitely, I think, a shot or subliminal at a larger conversation here about Charlamagne the God's future at the Breakfast Club.
I said, if we get fired, they'll be so hurt. OMG. That was a good run, guys.
Great run.
Why y'all acting like that?
That is so wild. I'm just
stupid.
Exactly, Taylor. That's
It was a great
crazy.
run, though. It was a great,
Y'all are crazy.
we ain't going nowhere, but it was a great run.
Well, Jess is already home, so she's halfway there.
Shut up, man.
You know what I'm saying? Already halfway there. I know. Trust me, I know. Shit, I ain't stupid. I know.
Somebody said, do we know something that we don't? We don't know nothing. Nobody knows nothing. Nobody, what the Bible say? Nobody knows the day nor the hour.
Y'all don't get that. Y'all can't see that yet, chat. Don't nobody know nothing of Breakfast Club.
Don't nobody
nothing.
know that they know the out. Somebody, this was funny. Somebody said Radio Rico. I think this is what I would like to do. You know, at the end of the year, we do all these year-end reviews, right? All these year-end reviews of like albums and stuff like that. You know what we need to do in 2025? Do a year-end review of all the bull stories that bloggers and other podcasters and everybody told y'all that were not true. Because y'all be just
like
letting. I saw somebody put Radio Rico. Like y'all be letting these people say anything. Somebody said it's Breakfast Club ending. It's our last week.
It's our last week, but we'll be back in January, y'all. We take a vacation.
Yo, this nigga's crazy.
This guy's crazy.
They gonna clip that shit, and that shit gonna be everywhere.
Man. I'm just telling. Listen, it's our last week for the year, y'all. Just letting y'all know that.
Just for the year. We'll be back January.
That's all right. They already clipped
it. We pray.
They gonna clip that shit.
We pray we be back in January.
We'll be back January.
Okay.
And if not, y'all gonna see my feet on OnlyFans. I'm telling y'all right now.
They out there now. Somebody said appreciated that sit down at the Deal Book Summit. We need more conversations like that. Yeah, that was a fun conversation. Somebody said too long, man. We need a vacation.
Yeah, you gotta think about it like this. Even in Thanksgiving, when most people got off, we worked until what, Wednesday? Like we stay on.
Somebody said no way they getting.
You say?
Y'all are so crazy.
Oh yeah.
I would have to go back in time to check if this vacation is routine. If they went on a similar vacation last year and a year beforehand, they probably did. This is probably a routine thing. Now, this week is the 15th. Maybe they're going, okay, they said at the end of the week. So maybe they're going on vacation Friday, which would be what, the 20th. They go away for Christmas, they go away for the holidays, and then come back in January. Right around that time, though, Charlamagne the God contract is up for renewal. Tasha K said it's up for renewal January 21st. So who knows what's going to happen, right? Will they just say, hey, Charlamagne, like, don't come back. We're just going to start fresh. Instead of you coming back and then 2 weeks later you're gone, let's just, stay home. Let's just come back and start fresh. I don't know, man. I feel like we'll find out shortly. I think we'll know the information fairly shortly. But I'm telling you guys right now, the Breakfast Club won't survive without Charlamagne the God. If Charlamagne the God contract is not renewed, if Charlamagne the God doesn't sign, if Charlamagne the God goes away, the Breakfast Club will be over within a year. I can almost guarantee you that, bro. You see, the Breakfast Club, they could replace Angela Yee. They could replace DJ Envy. They can replace Just Hilarious. They can replace Lauren LaRosa. Because for the most part, you could plug and play what they bring to the table. I think DJ Envy, for the most part, it's kind of difficult to figure out what his value is. But you could plug and place Lauren LaRosa and Just Hilarious, and even DJ Envy, from my perspective, to be honest, bro. But I don't think you can replace what Charlamagne the God brings. Charlamagne the God is one of the only ones outside of Just Hilarious who has their own outside of the Breakfast Club, but just does comedy. Charlamagne the God actually does a successful podcast, has multiple shows. Charlamagne the God, to me, is the brick that keeps the Breakfast Club together. You get rid of him, the Breakfast Club is just as well over. I'm telling you, it's done. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this? Do y'all believe that Charlamagne the God is leaving the Breakfast Club? Do y'all believe that iHeartMedia will be dumb enough not to re-sign him? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching this video and want to watch another good video, then click on this video right here to find out how this racist content creator is now begging for help after his racism cost him everything. He lost everything. He can't even feed his 2-year-old son, and now he's begging for help. This video is an amazing video. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.